Today we're going to be tying the gold-ribbed Hare's Nymph. It's a must-have classic fly pattern that everybody should have in their box. This particular pattern has probably been around since about 1910. So let's go ahead and get into the tie. So I will have a full description, or excuse me, full recipe in the description of the fly that we're tying. But this is a 2X shank hook, so it's twice the length of a normal standard hook. And then I'm going to be tying on about 1.5 inches of lead-free wire. And when I tie on my wire, I like to gauge my wire against the thickness of the wire of the hook. Just a basic rule of thumb I use. Of course, you want to go heavier. If you're fishing deep water or faster water and you want a heavier fly, by all means you can use thicker wire. You may not need as many wraps, or you can actually use a brass or tungsten bead head as well. All these, if you really need to get down, I guess you could put the wire and the bead head on there. So the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and start our thread right here. And I like to just kind of go back and capture that wire so I don't have it moving around a lot. Put some internal wraps in there to hold it steady. I'm going to come back here and I'm going to wrap to the end of the shank where I'll be tying in the tail. The tail for this fly is guard hairs off of the mask of a Hare's Nymph, and I'm just using natural colors from my pattern. So this is just right off of the cheek of a Hare's mask. I like to keep all those fibers there and bind them down. That will help with the taper of the fly as we tie it. So now I like to flip it over. I like to put in my ribs on the bottom of my hook shanks. Excuse me. Oh, quite on the bottom. Let's pull that up. There we go. So the next thing we're going to do is we'll add a little wax to the thread, and this will just help to hold the dubbing on. So I am using an actual, this is a fawn colored rabbit fur dubbing. I like this for my abdomens, and you just want a really fine, thin tapered noodle as you put this on. So we're gonna kind of dub some, give it a few wraps, make sure we're building up a nice taper to our fly. And this is natural material, so you're going to get some strange kind of hairs that are sticking out from time to time. Don't worry about it. If they bother you that much, at the end you can always take a pair of scissors and trim them off. So maybe just a little bit more dubbing. Some of these I will probably trim off because they are bothering me a little bit. So let's go ahead and knock off some of these now as we're tying, because we do want our abdomen to be kind of tight and on the fly. So now, excuse me, when you saw me wrap with my thread, I go up over the top. So now I'm going to go over the top and towards me when I rib it. And what this does is it's called counter wrapping, and it makes the fly a little more durable. And of course the ribbing serves this purpose of giving segmentation to the abdomen of the fly. So got that captured in. A couple wraps to tighten it down. We'll go ahead and clip it. Now for the wing case, that's the next thing we're going to tie in. I've already cut a slip, but this is just a turkey tail feather, or wing feather rather. It's barred, and I like them because I like my wing cases to be a little darker. So I like to use those, and I'm just tying in that slip that I'd cut off, like so. We can rotate that, make sure it stays where I want it. Now the next part is we're going to do the thorax of the fly, and this is also just rabbit fur, and it's just a little darker in color. Got a frog in my throat tonight, so I apologize for the wait here. I just got to pull some of this out. Alright, so let's put a little bit of wax on here. Now this dubbing noodle is going to be a little thicker and a little darker material, but it'll be thicker as well. You can see already it's got quite a bit, and I'm not really dubbing it on as hard. That's because I'm going to pick it out when I finish the fly to give the fly wings, or legs rather. So we're just going to come up over the top, come down, and I just hold a pinch, come in, and I'm going to capture right behind the eye from my wing case. Come up, give a couple wraps in front of the wing case and the wing case as I'm just forming a head of the fly. Clip that. Now the only thing left to do is a whip finish. So I like to just give a 2 or 3 turn whip finish on these flies. I am going to use head cement and make that 3 turn. So for my head cement in this bottle, I just have some Sally Jantz's Hard as Nails. I just like to put a little drop right here on the head to kind of seal it into place. Then lastly, while I got it on the vise, I'll flip it upside down. I have a little dubbing brush, which is just some Velcro on a popsicle stick. I'll pick that out, like so. See, I picked up a red fiber somewhere, and that's a little long. I don't want it like that, so I can just clip it. You know, it's my fly. Do what I want with it, right? So there you go. There is the gold-ribbed Hare's Ear Nymph. If you have any questions or comments, please post them down below. Again, I'll have a full recipe for this fly posted as well. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you around the vise.